And now we'll move on to some UFO alien shit. All right? Thank you.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
I don't know. Am I having a good day, Joe? Am I having a good pod right now?
You know what? I'm enjoying myself. I don't know how Clown Baby feels about this, but you definitely seem tense. You feel like it seems. Yeah. It seems like. Were you molested or something? Did somebody rape you? What happened?
Well, I have a story about that. I talked about this story on the podcast, I think, many times. That I have a memory I cannot place. And when I went into when I got my hernia operation, I asked the anesthesiologist and some nurses, like, "Hey, when I got my because they ask you, have you had any operations before? They have to have all this upfront knowledge." And they said, "Yeah, I got my tonsils taken out." And right around this period of time, I have a distinct memory of being tied face down, all my arms, like one hand tied to the end of the bed, the other right hand and to the other end of the bed, and then my feet spread, so you're like in an X, tied down. And I remember a nurse or a woman standing behind me trying to like comfort me. I remember being in a room full of other children screaming just like me. And I remember being able to turn my head to the left and look back and kind of glance. And I managed to get my left leg free of the bindings and kick back at the person standing guard, the nurse. And I remember making contact and feeling a great amount of gratitude. And then after that, I don't remember.
Okay.
Now, this is a very
sounds terrible.
Distinct memory. It's been with me for as long as I can remember, from age 7 on. It happened right around, I think, 5, 6, 7. And I've asked various medical professionals if that's the thing they do. And even most recently, when I went in there, I made a point to ask. They said that's not standard practice. They would only tie you down if you were thrashing about and maybe indicated that you would harm yourself in some way. And so now I'm left with this memory. Or is it a dream? Because it doesn't feel like a dream. It feels like a fucking memory. Do I go into hypnotic regression and open up this can of worms and not know what it leads to? It could be nothing. It could be just a dream. I'm having a pretty good life right now. I have a good job, good career, dating a nice girl. Do I want to open up this can of worms of really exploring this memory of being tied down to a bed, face down, with a bunch of other screaming children around me? Where was I?
Yes. Live stream it.
Yes, do that.
That can be one of the Saturday hangover shows. Just
one show,
therapist
Joe?
Who works on Saturday?
I don't know, dude. It's a very real memory for me. And
I'm sure it's fine. We just one show would be fine.
We'll get it out of the way. One show, in and out.
Fine. Probably just
It'll be good.
Like 30 minutes or so.
Mike, you're part of an MK Ultra operation back in the early 80s, and sorry, this is what you turned into. Some kind of wannabe artist who works in IT now.
Yeah, a deadbeat IT alcoholic with a hernia who has no furniture.
Had no furniture, and you roll around the floor to dry yourself off after showers. Basically, Mike, you're in the shower and you didn't have any towels.
And you have your one boob.
Got my one boob that I massage by myself. Because at that point, my girlfriend's not going to want to touch me at all. She's not going to want to come over.
This guy doesn't even have furniture. And he's got repressed memories of being gang raped.
And one time I came over and he was rolling around the floor trying to dry himself off.
He was covered in dog hair, but he was at least dry.
He's constantly covered in dog hair for some reason. And he makes his coffee in the toilet? Is that normal? I don't know.
It's Sanka. It's powdered coffee.
Yeah, I'm sure she's a nice girl. I don't know if she'd put up with that bullshit. But I do have some alien stuff here. Some other alien stuff.
I'm going to lose my mind today.
Just mine. All right. This is about the ancient builder race of aliens. And there have been rumors, pictures, photographs of the moon. And there's various structures on the moon that ufologists, people who are in the conspiracy realm, see. And it's like, look, there's a dome, there's a monolith there. And people point to that as evidence of some kind of ancient civilization that once maybe inhabited our solar system and created structures. I mean, people have always said, while they're on the History Channel and on the show Ancient Aliens, that the pyramids, that maybe they were constructed by aliens themselves. I mean, look at that's been a rumor as far as I can go back. Zachariah Sitchin has talked about it. It's been all over the place. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. The ancient builder race of aliens that may have inhabited our Earth and our solar system. Are you with me, Joe? Because it's very important that you're with me right now.
I'm totally with you. I'm very well aware of the aliens built the pyramids. Obviously, logistically, this was a challenge. People question it. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'm on board.
So I made a bunch of little notes to myself, things I want to touch on. So when it comes to our solar system, people think that Earth is a very special place. It feels, look, we have a lot of fucking water here. It's in a perfect zone for life. A lot of good things happen on Earth. Love Earth. Great planet. It just so happens from all these...
The best. Everybody knows Earth is the best. We love Earth. Who doesn't love Earth?
It's the greatest. We got to build a wall to keep all the other people out of here, all right?
Nobody loves Earth more than I do. Everybody knows this.
Exactly. Earth is that good. But apparently, there's a lot of other people that know this as well. I've been compiling this from a bunch of different books. I'll put some links up in the YouTube video if I remember to. But apparently, our sun is right next to a galactic stargate. It's
nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. You want
Perfect.
That's super convenient. That's like being next to the subway in New York City. It's so convenient.
Prime real estate. Exactly, Joe. And our sun is part of a cluster of other stars, which is considered a blue zone, which is really good when it comes to like real estate. And our galactic stargate that our sun is next to, that means that when you travel through the stargate, you can wind up in another galaxy. Now, you've probably seen like movies like the movie Stargate, where they travel through and they go to some other part of the galaxy, and we have localized, according to other conspiracy theorists, there's other localized versions of the Stargate. We can travel from point A to point B very quickly. This is a galactic Stargate that our sun is next to, which makes it prime fucking real estate for every other civilization out there that wants to get involved in this money-making scheme. Our sun actually is also part of a galactic, a solar system-wide junkyard. So our sun sits in the middle of essentially what is considered by many to be a junkyard, because alien races, since we're in such prime real estate, other alien civilizations have come to our solar system, built up structures, done whatever they had to do for their own civilization, and left their shit behind. And apparently, according to some people, that our entire solar system is littered with ancient technology. You see that on the moon, possibly Phobos, one of the moons circling Mars. You see it on Mars itself. Mars has possible pyramids. They have what? Squirrels?
Squirrels.
Yeah, they might. Mars might be a junkyard. Then there's various other moons around Jupiter that have been rumored to be at least inhabitable in some way. And so this builder race is what we're going back to. This builder race that has come a long time ago, and they have built up structures on the moon, contributing to this solar system-wide junkyard. Now, there's something I talked about before in the secret space program. There is, if you believe that the government has way more technology than what they're letting on, and that they have access to advanced, let's say, propulsion systems, alien technology, that we call that the ruling elite. In many of the books I read, they call that the cabal. And so the cabal, or the ruling elite, are very aware of this ancient technology that Earth and the solar system has been visited by civilizations before, and they're pretty fucking protective of it. And they don't want to release that information out unless they release it out on their own. And so, Joe, Clown Baby, you probably know this as predictive programming. And so with movies like 2001 Space Odyssey, it's been rumored that's predictive programming. That in that movie, there's an obelisk on the moon. There's an obelisk that transformed the chimps into something more than what they are. That was a form of disclosure. I know it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but apparently that there is a galactic universal rule when it comes to good and evil. And if you believe in good and evil side of stuff, if you are going to do evil, you have to announce it in some way to get the public on your side. And only through...
like a false flag chemical weapons attack?
Sure. Mm-hmm. You could either do it through predictive programming, like the way they did. They announced the World Trade Center strike through the Lone Gunman TV series. They have to announce it in some way, and that's the rule.
I was just going to bring that same thing up. Yeah.
Apparently.
And all the 9/11 code and Simpsons and all the other places. Yeah.
So that apparently that kind of like what we call like what people say is coincidence. It's purposely used to announce things. They're like, hey, here's our symbolism. We're announcing it. It's a confession. So you're basically, by agreeing to use our money with the all-seeing eye, you're agreeing to our system. And it's kind of like money magic. It is. This cabal, the ruling elite, from everything I read, they believe they use black magic. They use the meme magic. They use everything, all this crazy shit that is all rumored to take place. These guys are using it. They announce their intentions through media in any way, shape, or form, through movies, money, or print. And they announce it that way. And that's how they get our unconscious or even conscious agreement. And so if one faction of the cabal wants to go to war, they got to get the consent of the masses in order to do it. Or else they break the law of the balance of the universe as well. And then, there are other alien races that are kind of taking note of what's going on, and they will only interfere if the cabal really doesn't do it with the will of the people. So as long as the cabal has the will of the people, they can do anything they fucking want. The cabal is we're really aware of the ancient builders, and they do everything they can to kind of just gently release it, because if they can control the release of information, then they can kind of control how disclosure happens. And disclosure is the release of an announcement of, are we being visited by aliens? What are their intentions, and where do they come from? So there could be anywhere from 3 to 10 different civilizations that have built ancient artifacts on the moon. Most of the moon ruins were built by the ancient builder race, and the cabal themselves believe that they are direct descendants of this builder race.
So Hillary's an alien now too?
Well, they believe they're direct descendants of it. Now, the structures on the moon, for the most part, is rumored to be built out of a transparent aluminum material. They're translucent. You can see through them. Very strong. And I talked about transparent aluminum a few episodes ago. And it's actually a real thing right now. But it's also, and that started off in Star Trek. And that's like a material built for the Star Trek universe. Some of the ruins on the moon are at least 5 million years old. And throughout our local cluster, which is our sun and like maybe 35 other stars around us, basically surrounding the galactic portal, the builder race have left their marks. They've gone into those systems, they built things, and they kind of just put their technology down there. Maybe they can communicate with one another, and that's that. Not unlike Donald Trump going into a community, developing houses, getting out, going to another community, developing houses. So the builder race is like the Donald Trumps of aliens. Hey, going in here, we're going to build, we're going to do some good things, we got a good contractor, we're going to get a good deal, get in there and get out. Improve the real estate. I would view this builder race of aliens as real estate moguls, to put it in simple terms. They want to build in worlds where it's good. They don't want to build on Mercury. They're not building structures on Mercury. It's too close to the fucking sun.
I don't see. Yeah, okay. Okay. I could see that. So the United, not the United States, the Earth is one giant real estate project by the ancient builders.
The builder race. One could say that, sure.
Okay.
Now, there's a bunch of different other things going on here, like a really crazy stuff, like about advancing your consciousness. A lot of the ancient Egyptians, they did feats of strength, not like George Costanza, I know what you're talking about, but to test their fear. So when they ascended to the next plane, they wouldn't be fearful. They would have their fear under control. And that's the human moving from the third to the fourth level of consciousness. Now, there are aliens that live in the sixth and seventh. The builder race lives in the seventh or the sixth, and so there's one level above them. It gets all fucking complicated here, Joe, when you're dealing with
it's not my fault.
Really crazy shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Crazy shit
I'm
like
with
this. So the builder race of aliens, when we're talking about left possible structures on the moon and may have assisted in some way with some knowledge on Earth. They could have been on Earth over 2 billion years ago, according to some of the books I read. Now, if you're asking what they might look like, they might be maybe 3 times as tall as a human. That would put them about the same height as the rumored American giants that you see. And so there's a nice TED Talk that we talk about continuously on this show that has been taken down repeatedly about a guy who has found structures.
Jim Vieira.
What's his name?
Yeah, that's Jim Vieira.
His
name is Jim Vieira, and you can Jim Vieira, and you could look him up. It's the ancient mound builders. I have the clip. If anybody wants to email the show, ask for the clip. I saved it. One of the re-uploaded copies that the Smithsonian and all their entities are all like, nope, this clip is not safe for the internet. Why is it? Why do they not want it on the internet?
Yeah, if giants are fictional things, what's the big fucking deal? I don't know.
So a kook got on stage at a TED Talk. I don't know. It's not a big deal. You know, people get on stage and talk about Bigfoot all the time. We talk about this shit all the time. Nobody pulls the videos down. It's only when it's the Streisand effect. It's like when you want it pulled down, obviously there's something there that you don't want people to see. It's just fucking obvious.
Very bizarre. And that guy stumbled upon it, and that wasn't the controlled release of information that, if you believe in the cabal or the ruling elite, that's not the way they wanted it, because he was actually a genuine guy. He spoke. He's like, I can't believe what I found. You saw his genuine excitement in finding all these big structures that only a big person could build. You know?
Yeah, it'd be like if your mom walked in on you masturbating. Be like, Mom, seriously, come in, check this out. I'm about to come.
Fuck yeah.
So good.
Have you seen this before?
Mom, come into the shower with me, basically.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for the folks who want to, they're jacking off. Mom opens the door. You're like, oh God, I thought I had an itch. I had a thing. You know, that's how it goes. I mean, the fact that they're clamping down on Jim Vieira, like, he's excited about it. Everybody else is like, no. Jim Vieira is a crazy person. Nobody listens to him, even though he's been doing this for years.
This is going to get a little bit more bizarre.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna wrap this up real quick, but it's going to get a little bit more bizarre. So apparently the builder race, while 3 times the size of a normal human, also have an apparent feline appearance, much like the Sphinx that you see in ancient Egypt, like a hybrid feline humanoid kind of thing, just about 18 feet tall, though. The builder race apparently lost their ability to make transparent aluminum some time ago, so they decided to use stone instead. They're actually the builder race of these ancient aliens. They're actually happy and positive and friendly people who shared their knowledge. They weren't malicious at all. They actually wanted to spread knowledge and wisdom throughout all the planets that they visited, and that's why the cabal hates them, but they're descended from them. So don't hate your family, motherfucker. Don't be a fucking hater. I don't know. Now this is where it's going to take an insane, crazy turn.
Uh-oh.
So we just talked about predictive programming, like 9/11. You saw that in the series The Lone Gunman. 2001 with the release of some kind of alien intelligence helping evolve mankind, and various kinds of subtle attempts to interject a helping hand into humanity. Now this goes into Star Wars. Apparently, according to some, George Lucas was approached about putting some true alien tech into his Star Wars movies, like the Death Star. Now, there are, the builder race did build defense systems, and there are various defense systems set up in every planetary system, like the Death Star, to protect against malicious outside alien intelligences. And so George Lucas was apparently approached to put the Death Star in there to break it in as some kind of predictive programming. Also, he put in C-3PO, which is a droid, which the builders actually built as well. These droid creatures. Now, this seems so far-fetched, and it does seem pretty fucking insane. I gotta say, it is. This is when you say, hey, when you go up to somebody and say, hey, man, Star Wars is real, man. It's stupid. But there is. I'll provide this in the Slack chat. There apparently someone claims to have found a head of a droid on the moon. Richard C. Hoagland, for anybody who doesn't know, he's a big ancient Mars guy. I'll put this in the Slack chat. Take a look and see if you see a droid head on the moon that kind of looks like C-3PO in a way, if you look at a certain way. And people really fucking reach. And here it is. Here's the picture of a droid head on the motherfucking moon. Take a look at that. It's zoomed in, and it definitely looks like a skull of some sort.
Yeah, and it's got some kind of like copper thing at the bottom. I don't know what that is.
It almost looks like a gas mask or in some sort.
Gas mask?
That's how you go ahead on Google right now. You can type in robot head on moon, and this will pick up the full resolution picture. Will pop up, and you can see it from like a black and white. You can see it at different angles.
That's what I want to see. The zoomed in one and all that.
It's very curious.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. I guess when you see it in context with everything around it, it looks a little bit more robot head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
not bad. Like, I know the eye wants to see what it wants to see. You want to see faces in clouds. You want to see those stuff.
But you don't. I mean, there's no just based on this image. Of course, I'm wondering if it's even on the moon at all. Like, what if this is a picture of somebody's, fucking backyard or something?
What is my own personal soundstage that I have to make my own moon videos?
Exactly. Just like Dude Face, who did 2001, who you were just talking about with predictive programming. Kubrick. Yeah.
Which, I mean, look at Kubrick. He is surrounded with conspiracy theories around him. Tons.
Did you know that my code to get into the apartment, like if I want to dial my own phone and unlock the door, is 237? Which is
now we know it, guys. Go on down there. We got it. We got to go. We can get in.
You know that like room 237 is like the conspiracy theory that's Kubrick's admission that he faked the moon landing and all that stuff.
I heard that. Yeah, and I love all that shit. I know
when they said it was 237, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I have a conspiracy code to get in.
Look, everything I just read with the builders, ancient builders, I don't know if it's true. I think it's great fodder to talk about.
It's fun. Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun to talk about. And this is taken from a bunch of different books. I didn't even get into the guardians of this planet in the seventh density or the law of one. Very weird stuff. When you go this deep into UFO research, you're inevitable. It's inevitable that you're going to bump up against spirituality and reaching new levels of consciousness and all this kind of stuff. It gets bizarre. Honestly, it gets really fucking bizarre. But it's pretty interesting at these people. It's pretty interesting that these people have this kind of interpretation of history and humanity and how we came to be. I don't know. We know that there's some kind of ruling elite out there. We know they have some kind of influence that is very extreme. You know, we've seen false flag attacks. It's happening right now. I don't know about this shit. Maybe this shit's a distraction. It's fun to think about. I want to believe with all this shit. I want to believe in Bigfoot. I want to believe in Chupacabra and all that stuff. But I haven't been confronted with it. And so I really don't know how to feel about this other than it's nice fiction to read sometimes. You know, it's so bizarre, so out there that it's hard to believe. This itself, everything I read, very well could be bullshit disinformation. I don't know. But this is what I compiled from like 2 or 3 different books. Readings for fucking nerds, man.
Yeah. Sounds
like we all know.
Reader.
You have plenty of books you'd like to slam down.
I like to slam books. So, hey, real quick, what happened to the builder race? They mysteriously disappeared. No one knows. No one knows. Mm-mm. No. Oh, Joey, that's all I got. That's all I got on the aliens. I basically talked for like a half hour there, didn't I?
Do you think that the aliens hire Mexicans to build their shit?
Good question. Why wouldn't you hire the Germans? The Germans have a bigger connection with the aliens than the Mexicans. As far as I can, there's a lot of UFO activity in Mexico around, like, usually volcanoes. But the Germans have that Nazi draconian connection with the Vril Society. So I don't know, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
German engineering. Do you ever hear of Mexican engineering? You hear of German engineering. I think actually
you hear about Mexican guitars and you go, "Oh, Mexican guitars."
No, actually, I play a lot of Mexican guitars. All right, they're fine. I think Mexico needs to rebrand itself. They need to rebrand itself.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they need to.
They're not that bad.
No, it's fine.
Mexico. Here, I got a tagline. Mexico. We're not that bad. What's that?
Mexico. Could be worse.
I play a lot of Mexican instruments. I think it's they're fine. I have nothing against it. Good instruments.
Yeah,
good people.
Your favorite one, the tequila bottle.
Yes. What a good instrument of destruction. Sure.
Mexico. You like drugs.
Mexico has a lot of UFO sightings, though, man. A lot of interesting stuff goes on down there. And you have all those ruins down there as well. So don't dismiss it, man. I know you're being pretty crass with your comments towards the Mexican people. Don't dismiss them, man. They'll come back and get you, motherfucker.
Oh, man.
They'll get you.
I think, there's some really hot Mexicans out there. I'm okay with Mexicans.
Fuck yeah, dude. You like Latino guys?
I'd be all right with that. Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Anything that's not, anything like I told you the white people thing. It's like the white people. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh God, this is going to get bad.
Yeah.
Like, I just think white people are just like disgusting. So, Yeah,
we don't age well.
No, we don't age well at all.
But then you have like Asian people who age really well up until 60 and then they absolutely drop off.
Yes. Eric is going to look like Mr. Miyagi in like 5 years.
Yeah. That's going to be funny.
I hope he gets like a crazy accent to it. He's like, "Oh, I started. Why you do that?" Like, I hope it just like comes out.
Yeah,
you want Marion Dara?
You should ask him to just as soon as you get age 60, get the accent, and we'll continue living. Are you guys legally married in Texas?
It's legal everywhere with the Supreme Court decision, which I actually opposed. I opposed it, by the way, because I do believe it is a states' rights issue. Mm-hmm. We are officially married federally. Do you want to change the subject?
Yeah, I'm done with this fucking aliens, man. Let's move on.
Hey now.
F you and that. You guys are worthless pieces of crap.
Thanks, Alex.
I love how he sounds so exasperated.
Yeah. It is ridiculous.